Good morning, afternoon, or evening, all of my outdoor adventurous friends. This is The Outdoor Gypsy, where I try and bring you the highest quality content that I can in as little of time as possible on backpacking and day hikes. If you enjoy this video, go ahead, trample all over that like button down below, consider subscribing, and drop me a line if you have any questions. Stay tuned all the way until the very end of the video, where I will be sharing my thoughts, tips, tricks, things you may want to know before you go on this adventure. Without further ado, today we are backpacking the Ohlone Wilderness Trail in Northern California. Enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome back. As you can see here on my All Trails app, as well as the recording on my Coros watch, this technically goes a distance of 19 miles and an elevation gain of 5,000 feet listed. What I had recorded was just shy of 21 miles in distance and just shy of 5,800 feet in elevation gain. This is a point-to-point hike, meaning you're gonna need 2 cars or have pre-arrangements for somebody to pick you up at the end of the hike. My girlfriend and I decided to do this from east to west, starting in Valle Regional Park, going through Ohlone Regional Wilderness, and finally ending at Sunol Regional Wilderness. The true Ohlone Wilderness Trail, from what I was reading, actually goes through a little bit longer and further than what we had done and actually ends at Mission Peak. We decided to end where we did at Sunol Regional Wilderness just because we have done this Mission Peak as a day hike many times. Plus, it's very, very crowded there, especially on the weekends, so we just chose to leave the tail end of this hike off. But just know the true Ohlone Wilderness Trail does finish at Mission Peak. To do this hike was actually very cheap. There was only a nominal fee. I think it was like $4 or $6 to park your car in Valle Park. There was none in Sunol. And I think there was approximately $8 or $9 per person per night backcountry permit to do this hike. First thing I want to point out here, the first day, if you do this hike from east to west, like my girlfriend and I had done, the first day is a butt kicker. You're gonna go up roughly 2,700 feet in the first 5 miles, so it is a grind. You are gonna be sweating your butt off, so just prepare yourself mentally and physically for that challenge. As far as wild animals are concerned, we actually got to see a dozen plus wild turkey in the parking lot in Valle, even before we put the bags on our back. We also got to witness the famed California quail, as well as a couple of red-tailed hawks. My girlfriend and I did this hike on February 4th and 5th, or a Friday into a Saturday. It was a little bit early in the season to see a whole lot of wildflowers, but in some isolated patches, we did get to see some of the very popular California poppies. We got to also see shooting stars and isolated patches as well of blue dicks, amongst many others. I will leave pictured down below here. And again, if you know the names of some of these flowers, feel free to comment down below. I personally think one of the greatest perks of this trail was the solitude factor. My girlfriend and I, when we did this over the course of 2 days, we had only seen really about 3 or 4 people, 2 trail runners and 2 individual day hikers through 85 or 90% of the trip until we got all the way to the very end. And then on Saturday in the afternoon, there were some people in Sunol Park hiking around. But otherwise, this is a great trip for solitude in the wilderness. Some other pieces of information you may want to know about: bug factor. I really don't think there were any bugs in this trip. I thought it was actually quite pleasant. Never really encountered any bugs. The other thing you might want to take into consideration when doing this hike is your exposure to the sun. I think this would be a very difficult backpacking trip to do in the middle of the summer. It's going to be very hot and very exposed, so just be aware of that. I definitely think this is best done in the fall, winter, or spring when there's a little bit more available cloud cover. As far as campsites are concerned, there are plenty of them laid out throughout this trail system. You can easily make this a multiple day backpacking trip if you don't feel like you can do more than 5 or 6 miles. My girlfriend and I just did this as an overnight trip. We did stay at Maggie's half-acre camp, which is conveniently located pretty much halfway in between. There's 3 sites there, if I remember correctly. There is a porta-john as well as potable water that you can fill up with. I think the Maggie's half-acre camp is an awesome camp just because a couple of tenths of a mile further hike, you can go all the way up to the peak, and we timed this just right. So we set up camp and we got to oversee the entire valley at sunset, and there were just beautiful pinks, purples, overlooking the entire valley, and it was just gorgeous. I can't recommend this camp enough. Now that I have done this hike, I would say it's a very solid hike. I would not say it's anything extraordinary or over the top. I think if we had done this a little bit later in spring, there would have been a little bit more greenery, it would have been a little bit more lush, and there would have been more wildflowers, which I think may have made this a little bit more pleasant viewing wise. But again, it's a very solid hike, very solid trip. I would encourage you to give it a go. If you guys enjoyed this video and this review, I will be leaving a link right here in the top right where you can check out some of my other hikes and backpacking trips across North America. I am the Outdoor Gypsy. I'm signing off for now, but I will see you guys on the next adventure. Get some nature love.